Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, Bashem Rakak Wadash. My name is Yakalba from Plaintables Camp in Philly. This lesson is on, suffering and temperance. All right, we'll start off with the example of Martha and Mary. Well, not long, just, Martha looked at Mary as if, she had it easy. And that's what the Lord said down there. All right. Suffering. It says Luke 10:38. Now it came to pass as they went that he entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha received him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Yahushua's feet and heard his word. But Martha was cumbered about much serving, and came to him and said, Lord, dost thou not care that my sister hath left me to serve alone? Bid her therefore that she help me. So basically, Martha's suffering and she want help. She's saying, why is Martha not working just as hard as I'm working? Why is Mary not working as hard as I am, Martha? It seems like Mary got it easier than me. It says, but Martha was cumbered about much serving. So look up cumbered. You got Paris Pa'al. Paris Pa'al. It says, this one right here is pretty much the accurate one. To be overoccupied, too busy about a thing. Like your schedule's always full. You never have any free time. So basically that was Martha's issue. And she was complaining that, if I just had Mary to help me, it'd be easier. All right. That's what the Lord said. And so she basically saying, well, it seemed like I'm not getting a fair shake. I'm doing all the work. It says, but Martha was, we said that. Does not care. It says, and Yahushua answered and said unto her, Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things. All right. Yeah, okay, so the Lord read her spirit. It says many things, not just the serving. All right. So it said many things. All right. But one thing is needful, and Mary hath chosen that good part. All right. So Mary had a different type of work to do. Wasn't that she wasn't suffering? It was just that Mary wasn't suffering in this particular service. All right. Martha was, and Martha didn't appreciate that. Right. But one thing is needful, and Mary hath chosen that good part, which shall not be taken away from her. So just because it seemed like Mary had it easier for this part, that was Mary's lot. There's no Martha didn't have the right to take away Mary's lot. All right, or vice versa. Martha received work to do, and Mary received work to do. All right. So hope you get that. Let's move on. Job suffering. Job complaining. His complaining is suffering is an example of what we're going through and what our ancestors gone through. All right. And Job says, friends are sorry comforters. And when you're suffering, this is how you look at other people. And when you're suffering, when you believe you're suffering the most in a certain way. I have heard many such things. Miserable comforts are ye all. He said that. He basically said, you don't know what I'm going through. Shall vain words have an end? Okay, yeah, that don't mean nothing. The same what you just said, that doesn't help me. Or what emboldeneth thee that thou answerest? I also could speak as ye do, if your souls were in my soul's stead. All right. So Job is saying, you're not suffering like I'm suffering. I could heap up words against you and shake my head at you, but I would strengthen you with my mouth. Let's go there. Job says, good, the power shattered him. So now he's using the example that the Most High has inflicted him, and he's right. Though I speak, my grief is not assuaged, and though I forbear, what am I eased? He's not eased because he's still suffering. But now he hath made me weary. Thou hast made desolate all my company, and thou hast filled me with wrinkles, which is a witness against me, and my leanness riseth up in me beareth witness to my face. He teareth me in his wrath, who hateth me, and gnasheth upon me with the teeth. My enemy sharpeneth his eyes upon me. All right. So he's prophesying, but he's also talking to you about, his suffering at the same time. All right. Because his affliction was a prophecy, actual affliction, and the affliction of his future progeny, which are the Israelites, because Job was the Israelite. All right. So Job was complaining. And so what are we supposed to do in our complaint? All right. We got to look up. All right. We know that arrest is, you can seek counsel. All right. If it's something that you can't deal with. All right. If you can deal with it, then you deal with it. But sometimes, certain issues you can't deal with. All right. So what are we to do? All right. First, we got to remember the prophecy. Remember that Yahushua said to cast his burdens upon him. Says, and we know what's going to happen in the future. That's why we look up. We're prisoners of hope. Turn again our captivity of Yahweh as the streams in the south. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth weeping, are suffering. And we're going forth. We're prophesying, doing the work, putting the work first, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with them. All right. So we believe that. We believe that we're going to be rewarded for doing the work, planting the seeds, raising brothers up, which is the fruit. All right. And we're going to save brothers through Yahushua's word. All right. So we'll save Israelites through Yahushua's word. All right. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. So we have to wait. All right. We got Job 5. It says 5 and 9. It says James 5 and 9. It says, grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth at the door. Yeah. So when you look at grudge, it says ill will for past things. Like you bringing up old shit that happened to you. You constantly holding a grudge. All right. What you think happened to you. All right. Which may be true or not. All right. It says don't grudge against each other. A little bickering. Saying there's no smart shit under your breath. So it says a sign or a groan. It says in straits. It's a sigh. Long, deep, audible. To murmur. Indistinct sound made by a person or a group of people speaking quietly or at a distance. Pray inaudibly. Or to say something going a low tone. With grief, groan, grudge. Groan, sigh. All right. I think we got that. Because Yahushua knows our thoughts. All right. So don't hold grudges. It says, come to a resolution. All right. Avoiding, the issues. That's not coming to a resolution. All right, we're all grown adults. All right, what happens when you avoid something? It's going to come back up later and become a grudge. All right. You need help, seek counsel, seek mediators. All right, James 5 and 10. Take my brethren the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and patience. Suffering, affliction. Did I look that up? I'll just look it up again. Let's see. Hold on. Suffering, affliction. I think I have that up. We got Cacopathia, the suffering of evil. For example, trouble, distress, afflicted. All right. Hardships. All right. That's a part of being an Israelite. That's something that's certain brothers go through it at different time periods. You might look at a brother and think he's not suffering. You don't understand all of the suffering that he went through in the past. That's why I started off with the example with Martha and Mary, which is a great example. And we got patience, enduring patience. We got macrothumia. It says patience, endurance, constancy, steadfastness, preservedness, persisting in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. All right, forbearing, slowness in avenging wrongs. You got to endure fortitude. The term testicular fortitude, having balls, like to deal with hard issues, courage in pain or adversity. All right. Rise up and show yourselves men. All right. And ending here, and we endurance. So you got something that was done wrong. You gotta be patient. All right. Mainly I'm talking about the afflictions a person suffers. You gotta be patient and have hope. And come up with a plan. If you can't come up with a plan, to fix the situation, that's why you convey with brothers. All right. Don't think you know everything. All right. Get out of your own head. All right. Other brothers have, great counsel and knowledge outside of you. All right. This is 1 Corinthians 9, and this is the temperance word. I think it's 25. It says right. Temperate, yeah. So you'll start off at 9:24. Know ye not that they which run a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain. All right. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. All right. So temperate, strive for the mastery. Must be temperate. Yeah, agonizomi. To enter a contest, says to contend with adversities, like stress, high level stress, not accomplishing things, hitting walls, losing things, losing women, losing possessions, losing places to live. With metaphoric content, to contend, to struggle with difficulties and dangers, to endeavor with strenuous zeal, strive to obtain something. All right. Yeah. Ekrotuomai. All right, to be self-controlled, continent. All right, I mean, at times, I fly out the handle, every now and again, but mainly, you got to practice self-control, keeping your emotions intact. What that means, keeping anger, frustration. Learn how to control that. Continent. Able to control movements of the bowels, meaning you have the word emotion in the center, then you have anger, joy, happiness, hate, spite. Those are the imagine arrows going out, because those what emotions are. And obviously we're talking about the emotions which make you look bad or could get you in a a messed up situation. All right. To exhibit self-government, conduct oneself temperately. I gotta look up temperate. Here we go, right here. Climate, they talking about temperature. All right. It says, in a figure drawn from athletes who, in preparing themselves for the games, abstain from unwholesome foods, wine, and sexual indulgence. So yeah, when it comes to, displaying anger and frustration, you got to be centered. All right. Not all the time, but at the points, the time that matter, and you know that for yourself, or you might have judges around you that'll tell you. All right. To be self-controlled, continent, to exhibit self-government. All right. So you got to be able to control your emotions, your anger, your joy, things you say. And be careful what you say. When you say things, make sure you actually mean them. And in everything, every way, figure John. So we through that. No, so that's pretty much a lesson. All right. When we're in training to meet the Lord, it's not, this thing of ours is not about, being tough or, being right. And just, whatever issues we got, resolve them. Whether it be, in the faith or in the world, try not to be too, say, hard or, ununderstanding, at times, at the appropriate times, sometimes you got to understand, where someone else's perspective outside of your own. All right. And to use your gifts wisely. All right? Every brother has a gift. Every brother has, a different personality. Use your gifts wisely. Use your gifts to the utmost, because those are gifts that the Lord gave you. All right. And if you're not using your gifts that the Lord gave you, He's going to take them away from you. All right. And He's going to set somebody else up in your seat. So we have to control, what we say and our behavior out in the world, because we're an example to, the Gentiles and to the other Israelites that are about to come in, which are considered Gentiles also. All right. So let's put forth a good example. So I think I made my point. All right. Start off with Martha and Mary. All right. So I hope you edified. Shalom to the next lesson.